This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Just sitting here on my couch watching the Kansas Jayhawks against Ohio State, and decided to answer some questions for the Power Project. Got a question off of Facebook from Patrick West. Patrick West says he pulls in the mid-sixes in a pair of briefs, and he'd like to add a squat suit into the mix. He's having trouble. He tried to use a Leviathan, and he couldn't get down to the barbell. And he wants to know how he can get down to the barbell. First thing is, if you're putting your suit over top of your briefs, then I'd advise you to stop doing that. Secondly, if you put your suit on and your suit feels too tight still, then it's way too tight to do a deadlift. You should be getting some pull from the hips. You should be getting some support through the hips, and then also you're going to be looking for, those of you who are allowed to use Velcro straps especially, you're going to look for some good solid vertical compression. So for you, you're also asking, you're thinking about getting a metal King Pro deadlifter. Really, it doesn't matter the brand so much as it does the way that it fits. I pull in an Overkill. I've also pulled in other brands as well, but it's just all about how the suit fits you and how it feels. For me, I get a lot of support from my hips, and I kind of have a bad hip, so I got a granny hip, so it helps me a lot. A lot of people don't think they get a lot from their deadlift suit, but as I've said before, I think they're full of shit about how strong they actually are raw. Anyway, how to pull in a Leviathan, I used an example of that with my coach's eye video that I put up a while back, just actually about 2 weeks ago maybe, using Austin Baumgarten as an example, and he was pulling in a Leviathan squat suit. I didn't really get into detail on how to pull sumo in your suit, but all the principles and everything is there anyway. Pulling down and pulling back and down on the barbell is going to be something that you want to do. You really need to open up the hips, force your knees out hard as you go to sit back. And you need to think about sitting back more so than you need to think about sitting down. Your hips do not have to get super low to do a sumo deadlift for most people. If you had really short arms and maybe you're forced to squat the weight up a little bit more, really depends on how you're built, I guess. But you don't need to squat down that far. Also, think about when you're in your squat suit, when you're in your Leviathan, the hardest thing to do, the reason that the Leviathan is effective, is that it helps give you a lot of support in the squat. So the way that I avoid that in my suit, in my Overkill suit, when I go to pull, is I just bend right from the hips, grab the barbell. I'm 100% bent over. You can look at a lot of the videos. I did a Deadlift 101 video just a couple days ago where I'm not in any gear, but you can go on SuperTraining.tv and you can see hundreds of my pulls where I'm basically just bending right from the hip, grabbing the barbell, and utilizing the barbell to get myself set. I get tightness through my arms. I then start to get my back straight. And then from there, I drift my hips back, and I open the knees up. By doing that, I simultaneously lower my hips. It just kind of happens automatically. I'm not really thinking about lowering my hips, and I'm trying to pull my chest up. So that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to leverage yourself underneath that barbell when you're trying to pull in your Leviathan squat suit. Another little tip, a little trick that you can do, Another trick that you can do is something that I've been doing at Super Training with a couple of my lifters, is have them pull 1 to 2 reps stiff-legged sumo and 1 to 2 reps regular sumo. Go back and forth between the two. Pull with rounded shoulders. Pull with a real straight back. Pull in a crazy upright squat position. Keep kind of mixing it up about every other rep, and do a set of 6 to 8 reps with about 3 plates or maybe 4 plates or so for you, since you pull in the mid-sixes, with your straps up, and start to get a feel for what feels like shit and what feels good. Part of what has made guys like Sean Frankel great, guys like Dave Hoff, Ed Cohn, Brad Gillingham, I mean, the list goes on and on with these different guys that have achieved this crazy, crazy high level in the sport of powerlifting. The list goes on and on of the other individuals as well. Don't want to leave anybody out, but the reason why some of these guys are so great is because they have the right sensations. They feel the right things when they go to do a lift, and they just go, it just clicks with them. They say, that feels right to me, and that's what they stick with. And that's why there's so many different forms, so many different ways of utilizing form to do a big deadlift or to do a big bench or a big squat. So you have to get into your comfort zone. The best way to get into your comfort zone, in my opinion, because it's so hard to know how to lift the right way for your body type, the fastest way to get there is to lift like shit first. Everyone knows what not to do, but sometimes it's hard to get the right sensation on exactly what to do. So lift like shit, have fun, and get into these weird, awkward positions as much as possible, and fight your way out of them, and you'll be stronger for it in the long run. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, a lot about your form, and hopefully you blow out your face and maybe your O-ring. And that is it from supertraining.tv. Later.